Good morning everyone, and welcome to the video class number 3 on the unit Romeo and Juliet. In the previous class, we had discussed about the intensity of the feelings of Romeo, and in today's class, we are going to discuss about the intensity of the feelings of Juliet. I had given you an assignment on the previous class, and so once we finish the entire poem, you will get another assignment on the feelings of Romeo and Juliet together. Well, just to recall what we have learned until now, we already know that Romeo and Juliet, they belong to the rival families called Montagues and Capulets, who were living in the city of Verona, and they were staunch enemies. And Romeo, he attended the supper in disguise in order to see Rosalie, but there he saw Juliet on the dance floor. Just to remind you, it was a supper party which was hosted by old Lord Capulet, and in that supper party, Romeo, he sees Juliet on the dance floor, and the moment he saw Juliet, he was fascinated by her beauty, and he owes to marry her. And after the dance, Romeo, he learns that Juliet was none other than the daughter of old Lord Capulet, and there was this prodigious birth of love for Juliet in Romeo's heart, and Juliet also, she feels the same intensity of feeling, and she starts loving him, which is a genuine example of love at first sight. Well, about the feelings of Romeo, so we had a thorough discussion in the previous class, but I thought it would be better if I drew your attention towards one important aspect of that part of the poem. So that is about the comparisons. So ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪೋಯಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದರಲ್ಲಿ ರೋಮಿಯೋ ಏನು he describes ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಜೂಲಿಯಟ್, ಅವನ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ನ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಆ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪೋಯಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಫರ್ಗೆಟ್. ಸೊ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲುಕ್ ಎಟ್ ದ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ದಾವುದು? 3 ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ಸ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, Juliet's brightness is compared to the brightness of the torches. ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ನಲ್ಲೇನೆ ಇದೆ. Oh, she teaches the torches to burn bright ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. That means that, so he is comparing the brightness of Juliet to the brightness of the torches. So this is one comparison. Adu bitre you have another comparison, so where Juliet is compared to a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. So this is another important comparison. So I've already told you about that color contrast, yav riti darkness and brightness contrast it has been highlighted throughout the poem, and I told you in the previous class. So again, Juliet is compared to a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Ethiopia deshadavanu Ethiop. So Ethiop. So why Ethiop? Yake particular agi Ethiop deshadavane yake? Because the people are black in color, and a jewel in a dark background, in front of a dark background, it shines better. So it glitters. It just strikes the vision of the audience. The viewers. So hagagi a dark background nalli eddu kaano tara. So in the same way, Juliet was seen in that night. So Juliet is compared to a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. And another comparison is that Juliet is also compared to a snowy dove trooping with the crows. Adu marivadu. Juliet is compared to a snowy dove trooping with the crows. Next, so adhe line alli there is one more comparison. Juliet's na fellows na yarge compare madidane? Crows. Idu direct agi compare madilla, it is conveyed. The comparison is conveyed. So Juliet's fellows, they are compared to crows. So these two comparisons you should remember, and these comparisons are made by Romeo. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದ್ಸಲ question you may find it difficult to understand the question sometimes, like, so who compares andre Romeo compares, who is compared andre Juliet is compared. Remember, Romeo compares, Juliet is compared. So you should remember when you answer 1 mark questions. So well, better. Next we shall go to the next part of the poem, that is the intensity of the feelings of Juliet. So as usual, I will read the poem first. So open your textbooks itkondidiralla, and do you have an exercise book along with you? So you have to keep on making rough notes there. You should also have a pencil along with you. So pencil enake, so whatever you mark in the textbook, it should be marked with a pencil. Textbook alli mark ಮಾಡುವಾಗ you don't use a pen. Okay, so rough book alli ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಾಗ you write it with a pen. Okay, so now just I will read that part of the poem. So go through your textbooks. Come night, come Romeo. Come night, come Romeo. Come thou day in night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow on a raven's back, whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Come gentle night, come loving black-browed night, give me my Romeo, give me my Romeo, and when I shall die, take him. When I shall die, take him and cut him. Take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. I think you have gone through the words in the textbook. So let us take line by line analysis of this part of the poem. So Juliet, the feelings, it is entirely different from the feelings expressed by Romeo. You just try to note the difference here. Romeo's feelings were based on the beauty of Juliet. So you cannot expect the genuineness of love from Romeo's words, because it is quite evident that it is born out of infatuation. Romeo's love, Romeo's intensity of feelings is born out of infatuation, and there you should not forget the fact that Juliet is just an option for Romeo. So because he has gone there, we know the reason he has gone there, in order to see whom? Rosaline. Yes, Rosaline was his first girlfriend, and he has gone there to see Rosaline, and there he just accidentally he sees Juliet, who was dancing on the floor there, and the moment he sees Juliet, he gets fascinated by her beauty. So as I told you in the previous class, suppose he comes across another girl who is more beautiful than Juliet, then so how Romeo's reaction would be? It is you cannot guarantee, so you cannot you cannot expect that genuineness of true love in the feelings of Romeo. So well, Juliet feelings, it looks entirely different from that of Romeo. So just look at that line by line analysis ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಒಂದೊಂದೇ line ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, discuss ಮಾಡೋಣ, you will understand. Okay, come night, come Romeo. Come night. ಯಾರನ್ನ ಕರೀತಿದ್ದಾರೆ? Yes, she is praying the night. She is invoking the night. Come night. Juliet invokes the night. Night na ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆ night na? Why is she praying night? Why is she invoking night? Come night. ರಾತ್ರಿಯೇ ಬೇಗ ಬಾ ನೀನು. And why is she praying? Yes. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ if night comes, who will come? Romeo will come. Night ಬಂದ್ರೆ night ಜೊತೆಗೇನೆ ರೋಮಿಯೋ ಕೂಡ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ. So another question arises here. Night ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಯಾಕೆ ಬರಬೇಕು ರೋಮಿಯೋ? So we know the answer to this question because the relationship between Romeo and Juliet is not yet accepted by the society ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು basic fact. So along with that, we should not forget that the family of Romeo and the family of Juliet, they were staunch enemies. ಬದ್ಧ ವೈರಿಗಳಾಗಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಡೇ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಅವನು ಇವಳನ್ನ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಥರ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಹಿ ಮೈಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಕಿಲ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಜೂಲಿಯಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾರೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಜೂಲಿಯಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ರೆಡಿಲಿ accept an alliance for Juliet with Romeo. They cannot accept him as a bridegroom for their girl. So this is the reason. So he comes only during night. So she invokes the night. Come night, come Romeo. Come thou day in night. Look at that second part. Allondu kolar ide. Adadmele come thou day in night. This part of the line, it is addressed to Romeo. The first part of the line is addressed to the night, and the second part of the line she is addressing it to directly to Romeo. Come night, come Romeo. Ratriye bega ba neen bandre Romeo bartane. Second part, come thou day in night. Look at that imagery. Thou ಅನ್ನೋ word ಇದೆ, thou thou ಅಂತ. So there is another word thouch thou ಇದೆ. So but here thou thou ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ you ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪೆನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. thou thou ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅಂಡರ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ you ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ instead of the word thou, you can use the word you. So I will reread the line again. Come night, come Romeo. Come you day in night. So look at the comparison there. So Juliet is comparing Romeo to a day in night. Day in night. So how should we understand this particular phrase? The day in night. So night it is darkness. So you cannot expect sunlight in the night. So sunlight, it is usually associated with heat and energy, but moonlight is not associated with heat and energy. Sunlight ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ಶಾಖದ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇವಳು ರೋಮಿಯೋನ ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಿದ್ದಾಳೆ? ನನ್ನ ರಾತ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣುವಂತ ಹಗಲು ನೀನು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ she is comparing Romeo to a day in the night. So maybe we can understand this as moonlight. ಯಾಕಾಗಬಾರ್ದು? ರಾತ್ರಿ ಹೊತ್ತು ಡೇ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುವಂತ ಲೈಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it is moonlight. So come thou day in night. Look at the second line. For thou will lie upon the wings of night. For andre you can, because it's used as a conjunction here. So ಯಾಕೆ ಅವಳು ನೈಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನೀನು ಬಾ ರೋಮಿಯೋ, ನನ್ನ ರಾತ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹಗಲು ನೀನು ಕಮ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾಕೆ ಕರೀತಿದ್ದಾಳೆ ಅವಳು? ಈಗಲೇ ರಾತ್ರಿಯೇ ಬೇಗನೆ ಬಾ ರೋಮಿಯೋನ ಕೊಡು ಅಂತ ಯಾಕೆ ಅವಳು ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾಳೆ? ಫಾರ್ thou will lie upon the wings of night. ಆ thou ಅನ್ನೋ ವರ್ಡ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. thouಗೆ ಬದಲಾಗಿ I will use the word you. So for you wilt ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, will WILT wilt ಅನ್ನ will ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ರೀಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, no problem. So for you will lie upon the wings of night. ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ? She is addressing Romeo here. for you will lie upon the wings of night ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೈಟ್ನ ಒಂದು ಬರ್ಡ್ ತರ ವಿಜುವಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಜೂಲಿಯಟ್. ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ವಿಜುವಲೈಸಿಂಗ್ ದ ನೈಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಬರ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ನೈಟನ್ನ ಬರ್ಡ್ ತರ ಕಲ್ಪನೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟು ರೋಮಿಯೋ. ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಲೈ ಅಪಾನ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಲೈ ಅಪಾನ್ ಏನರ್ಥ? LIE ಲೈ ಅಂದರೆ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಟೂ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ಸ್. LIE ಲೈ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಸುಳ್ಳು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅರ್ಥ ಲೈ. ಸೊ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ? ಐ ಆಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಡೌನ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸೋಫಾ. ಸ್ಲೀಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಲೀಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸ್ಲೀಪಿಂಗ್, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಮಲಗಿರ್ತೀವಿ ಕೆಲವು ಸಲ. ಲೈ ನೆಲೆಸಿರುವುದು, ಇರುವುದು, ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಈ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್. ಫಾರ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಲೈ ಅಪಾನ್ ದ ವಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನೈಟ್. ಆ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಏನನ್ನ ಬರ್ಡ್ ಆದರೆ ಆ ಬರ್ಡ್ನ ವಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನೆಲೆಸಿರುವವನೇ. ಸೊ look at her imagination. So she is imagining as if Romeo comes, he lies upon the wings of night, and if the night approaches Juliet, then Romeo will also come along with Juliet. So this sort of imagination. So I'll just read that line again. For you will lie upon, nelesiruvudu, you will lie upon the wings of night. ಆಗಿಂದ ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಕನ್ನಡಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅದನ್ನ? ರಾತ್ರಿಯ ರೆಕ್ಕೆಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ನೆಲೆಸಿರುವವನೇ ಬಾ. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ thou will lie upon the wings of night. Third line. Whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Really, there is another comparison. Juliet is comparing Romeo to the new snow on a raven's back. Raven antandre it is a type of bird, black in color. Maybe it is just like a crow. Crow ginta ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. So ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು I have searched for the meaning of that word, but ನಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆ that bird, the raven, is not seen. It is not found in the region where we live. So ಈ ಗಿಡುಗ ಅಥವಾ ಹದ್ದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಮಾನಾರ್ಥಕ ತಗೋಬೋದಷ್ಟೇ ಹೊರತು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ಅಂತ. And so whiter than new snow on a raven's back. So look at that comparison. ಎಷ್ಟು ವೈಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ ರೋಮಿಯೋ ಅಂತ she is saying. ವೈಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕಲರ್ ಆಫ್ ಯರ್ ಸ್ಕಿನ್, ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೇವೆ, ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇತ್ತು ರೋಮಿಯೋಗೆ? ಅವನ ಚಾರ್ಮ್ನ ಅವಳು ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್, ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ರೋಮಿಯೋ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಮೇಲ್. ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ವಿಮೆನ್. ಸೊ ಜೂಲಿಯಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ಲು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, ಬಟ್ ರೋಮಿಯೋ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದ ಅಂತ ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಸೇ, ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಹೌ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸಮ್ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಬೋದು, ಹೌ ಚಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಬೋದು, ಹೌ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸೊ ಜೂಲಿಯಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಲೈನ್ ಶಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ದ ಚಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ರೋಮಿಯೋ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರೋಮಿಯೋಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಟು ವಾಟ್? ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾಳೆ? ನ್ಯೂ ಸ್ನೋ ಆನ್ ಅ ರಾವೆನ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ವೈಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದ ಅವನು, ಸ್ನೋಗಿಂತ ವೈಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದ. ಸ್ನೋಗಿಂತ, ಸ್ನೋ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಹಿಮ. ಹಿಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಮ ಯಾವ ಕಲರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? ಹಿಮ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆ ಯು ಕೆನ್ ನಾಟ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಹಿಮ ಎನಿವೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಸೌತ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಸಿ ಹಿಮ, ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಗೋ ಟು ಹಿಮಾಲಯಸ್, and apart from that you cannot find snow in any part of ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಹಿಮಾಚಲ ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಆ ಬೆಲ್ಟ್, ಹಿಮಾಲಯನ್ ಬೆಲ್ಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಓನ್ಲಿ ದೇರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಸ್ನೋ. ಸೊ ಸ್ನೋ ಅಂದರೆ ಹಿಮ. ಸೊ ವೈಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಸ್ನೋ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲುಕ್ ಎಟ್ ದಟ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಸ್ನೋ. ಸ್ನೋ ಅಂದ್ರೇನೆ ವೈಟ್, ವೈಟ್ ಕಲರ್. ನ್ಯೂ ಸ್ನೋ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ದ ಸ್ನೋ ವಿಚ್ ಹಸ್ ಫಾಲನ್ ಫ್ರೆಶ್ಲಿ, ದ ಸ್ನೋ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಫ್ರೆಶ್, ಆಗ ತಾನೇ ಬಿದ್ದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹಿಮ. ಹಿಮಾನೇ ವೈಟ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಆಗ ತಾನೇ ಬಿದ್ದಿರುವಂಥ ಹಿಮ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೆಷ್ಟು ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ವೈಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಜೂಲಿಯಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಂಪೇರಿಂಗ್ ರೋಮಿಯೋಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಮ್ ಟು ದ ನ್ಯೂ ಸ್ನೋ on a raven's back. Look at the latter part of the line ಅಲ್ಲಿ. So snow ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ರೂ ವೈಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. So even if it is, if you place snow somewhere, anywhere on the floor or on the table or on the chair, ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ the snow will be white. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಡೌಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಅದೇ ನ್ಯೂ ಸ್ನೋ, if you find it on the back of a raven, raven ಪಕ್ಷಿ, I told you it will be black in color. ಆ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬರ್ಡ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ, ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಬೋದು, ಅದ್ರ ಬೆನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ರಾವೆನ್ ಬರ್ಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗ ತಾನೇ ಬಿದ್ದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವೈಟ್ ಹಿಮ ಎಷ್ಟು ವೈಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಾರ್ಕ್ನೆಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬ್ರೈಟ್ನೆಸ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್, ಇದು ಥ್ರೂ ಔಟ್ ದ ಪೋಯಮ್ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಫರ್ಗೆಟ್ ದಿಸ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಹಿಂದೆ I told you, especially a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear, ಅಲ್ಲಿ darkness and brightness contrast ಇತ್ತು. And then a snowy dove trooping with the crows, ಅಲ್ಲಿ there was a contrast between darkness and brightness. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ next you have it here, new snow on a raven's back. So Juliet compares Romeo's charm to a new snow on a raven's back. ಇನ್ನೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? Come gentle night, come loving black browed night, come gentle night. Gentle ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಹಿತವಾದ. So that is pleasant, which gives which comforts you, something which soothes you, something which comforts you, something which is pleasant. So that is gentle, which is not rough anta, which is not harsh anta, which is not proud anta. So come gentle night, hitavada ratriye ba, come loving black browed night. So, look at this phrase again. Black browed night, karihubbina ratri. So why is he using this? So in order to indicate the darkness in the night. Remember that. You should not forget the fact that she is visualizing the night as a bird. Night in a bird tara visualize ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು she is expressing her feelings. So come gentle night, come loving black browed night, give me my Romeo, give me my Romeo, and when I shall die, take him, give me my Romeo. So this is what Juliet is requesting the night. Everybody one question about it. What does Juliet ask the night to give to her? So Juliet asks the night to give her Romeo to her. So she is requesting, give me my Romeo. ಕೊಟ್ಟುಬಿಡು, ನನ್ನ ರೋಮಿಯೋನ ನನಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟುಬಿಡು. ರಾತ್ರಿಯೇ, gentle night, loving black browed night, give me my Romeo. ಕೊಟ್ಟುಬಿಡು ನನಗೆ ನನ್ನ ರೋಮಿಯೋನ. And when I shall die, take him. ಕೊಟ್ಟುಬಿಡು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೇಳಬೇಡ. Give me my Romeo, but don't ask him again. ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೇಳಬೇಡ ನೀನು ಅವನನ್ನು. ಯಾವಾಗ ಕೇಳು, you take him. When I shall die, you take him. So what is she trying to convey? So ಯಾಕೆ she is speaking about death? When I shall die, take him. ನಾನು ಸತ್ತಾಗ ನೀನು ಅವನನ್ನು ವಾಪಸ್ ತಗೋ ನನ್ನಿಂದ. So why is she speaking about death? So yellow, she had felt that death was inevitable for them. She might be of the opinion that her parents and relatives might not agree for her to marry Romeo. So she might have foreseen, she might have guessed that death would be inevitable for her, and maybe she had already made her decision that she has to live with Romeo or else she should accept death. So she speaks about death. So she says, she invokes the night, she requests the night, loving black-browed night, give me my Romeo, and when I shall die, take him. Nan sattaga ವಾಪಸ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ಹಿಮ್. ತಗೊಂಡು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ ನೀನು ನನ್ನ ರೋಮಿಯೋ ಅಂತ? ಕಟ್ ಹಿಮ್. ಇದೆಂಥದ್ದು ಅನ್ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಶಿ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ದ ನೈಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್? ಸೊ ಶಿ ಅಪೀಲ್ಸ್ ನೈಟ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ರೋಮಿಯೋ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಹರ್ ವೆನ್ ಶಿ ಡೈಸ್. ಸತ್ತ ಮೇಲೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಏನು ಮಾಡು? ಕಟ್ ಹಿಮ್. ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸೊ he will become little stars. You cut him out in little stars. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ if you cut the flesh, you can get pieces of flesh. ಅಷ್ಟೇ. So we bring meat. ಮನೆಗೆ ಮೀಟ್ ತರ್ತೀವಿ, ಮಾಂಸ ತರ್ತೀವಿ. when you cut the meat, so they will become pieces ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಯಾವುದನ್ನ ಪೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡೋದು ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ. ಆರ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಪೀಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯು ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್? ಕಟ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಔಟ್ ಇನ್ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಸ್. ವೈ ಇಸ್ ಯು ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಂತ? ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ವಾಸ್ a belief in older days, and so surprisingly you can find the same belief in almost all the mythologies. Indian mythology, Christian mythology, ಎಲ್ಲ ಬುದ್ಧಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಬಿಲೀಫ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ರಿಲಿಜಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಈ ಬಿಲೀಫ್ ಇದೆ. ಏನು? ಇಫ್ ಅ ಗುಡ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಡೈಸ್, he will become a star. Yes, we have, I can give you the example of Dhruva anta ಒಬ್ಬ ಇದ್ದ, and so he prayed God, and God ಬಂದು when he stood in front of Dhruva, so he asked for his mother and nothing else. So God became very happy and he blessed him. He gave him a boon that you become a star after your death. And we have these Saptarshi Mandala anta karidivi. So the 7 sages, so the 7 ancient Indian rishis, after their death they became stars. Andre if you do good things in the world, so if you are good, so that God will bestow upon you His blessings, then you will become a star after your death. So this is a belief. Don't ask me, no logical reasoning here. I'm saying this is just a belief. So here, maybe with this belief she is saying, Romeo, avul prakara, he was so good that, so even if the night takes him away from her, and if he is cut into pieces, so each piece would become a star. Each piece of Romeo's body would become a star. So let me read that line again. Take him and cut him out in little stars. So Romeo ಏನನ್ನ stars ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, so he will make the face of heaven so fine. So he will make the face of heaven. So Romeo ಏನಾದರೂ if he becomes stars, then ಖಂಡಿತ he will add to the beauty of the sky. He would definitely increase the beauty of the sky. Juliet ದೃಷ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲೇ ನೋಡೋಣ ನಾವು. Juliet ದೃಷ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, so Romeo, he will make the face of heaven. Face of heaven. Heaven ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವರ್ಗ. ಸ್ವರ್ಗ ಅಂದರೆ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆಗೇನೆ ತೋರಿಸಿ, ನೋಡಿ ಸ್ವರ್ಗ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Of course the real concept of heaven, you have it. Heaven if you are not here on the earth ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕುವೆಂಪು ಬರೆದಿರೋ ಒಂದು poem ಇದೆ. So ಅಲ್ಲಿ realistic presentation of the concept of heaven, you can see there in that poem. But ಇಲ್ಲಿ this poem, since it is ಎಂಥದ್ದು exaggeration of feelings you can find in this poem ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ heaven ಅಂದರೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ತೋರಿಸೋಣ ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ. heaven ಅಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. So face of heaven ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Heaven cannot be directly seen. ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ heaven ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. So you can see the sky ಅಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ sky is often believed to be, it is taken as, it is understood as the face of heaven. Sky is the face of heaven. Don't forget this. So, and he will make the sky anta kariyona. Face of heaven bitbidತೀನಿ, I don't use that. He will make the sky so fine. So he increases the attraction of the sky. So ಎಷ್ಟು ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅವನು ಸ್ಕೈನ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. So look at that. So Romeo, so if he is cut into little stars, he would definitely, for sure, he would make the face of heaven so beautiful. He will make the sky so attractive that that sky looks attractive in the presence of stars. Stars ಇದ್ದಾಗ sky looks more. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ನನಗೆ ಆಕಾಶ ನೀಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಷ್ಟ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ನನಗೆ clouds ಇದ್ದಾಗ. Opinions differ, but generally it is perceived that the sky looks beautiful in the presence of stars. So ಯಾವಾಗ Romeo becomes stars, ಯಾವಾಗ Romeo he becomes stars, he increases the attraction, the beauty of the sky. ಎಷ್ಟು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, the entire world, ಇಡೀ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ, it would start loving the night. ನೈಟ್ನ ಲವ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಅಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅವನು ಸ್ಕೈನ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಹೋಲ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಲವಿಂಗ್ ದ ನೈಟ್. ಜನರಲಿ ಇಫ್ ಎ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಗಿವನ್, ಸೊ ನಿನಗೆ ಡೇ ಬೇಕಾ ನೈಟ್ ಬೇಕಾ, ವಿ ಚೂಸ್ ದ ಡೇ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ so for our daily life routine, daily routine of for each and everything, so we need light, we need sunlight, we need to look at things. Hagagi we will be more comfortable in the day. So adikene we reserve the night only for taking rest. Night time sleep matra ಮಾಡಿ, daytime we will do our activities. So hagadre, but if Romeo becomes stars, then people will start loving the night and stop worshipping the sun. So you know that we worship sun. So Greek mythologies nalli kodanu, illa Christian mythologies nalli, so sun is worshipped as a god. Even in India, Hindu mythology nalli we worship sun as a god. So hagagi people will stop worshipping the sun. So what happens if Romeo is cut into pieces? So Romeo, so if he is cut into pieces, so he will become stars. So he is cut into little stars, and he will make the face of heaven, he will make the face of sky so beautiful that people would start loving the night and stop worshipping the garish. So very bright, prakhara, so where you cannot see through your naked eye. Is it possible to look at the sun with your naked eye? It is not possible. So which is piercing, which is very obtrusively bright. You can see that in the glossary. Find that in the glossary. Garish means lurid or obtrusively bright. So it's so bright that you cannot see through your naked eye. So this is how Juliet expresses her feelings for Romeo. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ I have told you that the comparisons are very important in this poem. Otherly the comparisons given by Romeo. So Juliet is compared to the three things you should remember. So Juliet's brightness is compared to the brightness of torches, and Juliet's beauty is compared to the rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear, and then Juliet's fellows are compared to crows. And Romeo vishayake bandaga Romeo the comparisons. So the first comparison is Romeo is compared to a day in the night on the first comparison. And the second comparison is new snow on a raven's back. The third comparison you can take, Romeo is also compared to the stars in the sky. It can also be agreed upon. So it is too about the poem. So let us recapitulate and learn madvi anta. So first line alli Juliet invokes the night. Yenanta come night, come Romeo antadlu, and she compared Romeo to a day in the night. So I told you day in night antadra, so the light which you can see at night. So probably moonlight and directly you cannot agree upon it, but you can take it. So the day in night, and she visualizes the night as a bird, and she says that Romeo will lie upon the wings of night. She also compares Romeo's charm to the new snow on a raven's back. She again requests night, and she calls it a gentle night. It's a loving night in the Karitale. She also calls it as the black-browed night. Finally, she requests night to give her what? To give her Romeo to her, and then so she doesn't want Romeo to be taken again from her, and she says that take him when I shall die. So you take him when I shall die and cut him into little stars. And if Romeo becomes stars, if Romeo is cut into little stars, he would make the face of heaven, the sky, so fine that the entire world will start loving the night and stop worshipping the garish sun. Any questions ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ day and night is compared to dash, andre it is Romeo. And second line ali, where does Romeo lie upon the kelbodu. So the answer will be Romeo lies upon the wings of night. Amele whiter than new snow, whiter than new snow. Adralli the new snow is compared to whom? So the new snow is compared to Romeo, athava the charm of Romeo. Where does Juliet visualize the new snow? On a raven's back. So why the poet has used a raven, particularly a raven bird yake use madidane? Because the bird is black in color, and a black color mele bird mele bidirunta new white snow, it just looks striking to anyone. So amele she calls night as gentle night, etc. And then what does Juliet request the night to give to her? So Juliet requests the night. She appeals anta kudu. What does Romeo appeal the night? So she requests the night to give her Romeo to her. And so what does Juliet want Romeo to be cut into? So Juliet wants Romeo to be cut into little stars. When? After her death. When she dies, when Juliet dies, she wants Romeo to be cut into little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ face of heaven conveys dash in face of heaven andre, so it is the sky. And you can also expect another question, whom does Romeo make so fine when he is cut into little stars? He makes the face of heaven, the sky, look so fine when he is cut into little stars. And what would the world do? What would the world do when Romeo is cut into little stars? ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ world? Start loving the night, stop worshipping the sun. ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Start to stop. ಎರಡು ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ start loving the night and stop worshipping the sun. ಇದಿಷ್ಟು. And so when it comes to the intensity of feelings, so I had asked you before starting the lesson, before starting this unit, so I had asked you that you are the judges anta helide, and now you have to justify, you have to decide, and you have to justify whose feelings has more intensity, whether the feelings of Romeo are more intense, or whether the feelings of Juliet is more intense anta. So you have to justify. And so idikke I will give you notes, assignment ondide. So I will give you an assignment. It will be uploaded very shortly, maybe in another day, maybe on maybe tomorrow or a day after tomorrow. So I will upload the assignment as well as notes related to this particular unit. If you have any doubts regarding the discussion that we have taken about this class, so you can call me directly, and don't post anything in the group ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೂ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಸೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ಸ್ನ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So if you have written something, you directly post it to me. ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. I will reply to it. ನಾನು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ನ. So if you have committed any mistakes, I will guide ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. So and I will also post notes. Okay, so this is all about the unit number 1. So we shall meet again with a discussion about the next unit, Too Dear, a short story written by Leo Tolstoy. Until then, goodbye. Thank you.